Hi everyone, Holly from Diamond Painting Addict. So today I thought I would do something slightly different. I've been asked by a few of my subscribers if I would do a WIP and Chat. So basically do a real-time video. Sorry, I'm a bit breathless, I've just run up the stairs. So I had so many plans to do this yesterday, and I had quite a short day at work yesterday, so I did only 12:30 till 5. So my plan was to come back from work and do this real-time video, but then when I got back, my hubby was home, which I don't know, I can do videos when he's here, but he spends very little time at home. You know, he's always at work, so I thought instead of me doing a video which meant that he couldn't come into the room and, you know, do anything, which wasn't very fair on him, I thought I would leave it till today because he's actually shooting now and then he's at work later. Sorry, I just had a slurp of my tea. So I've decided to do it today instead, but I thought I would do this video on basically what I've been up to, what I do, a bit about myself. I know people always like to know what you do and things like that, and what hobbies you have, and you know, yada yada yada. So this is just a general chit chat. And whilst I do my Alice in Wonderland diamond painting, this is the last bit of the third quarter, and then I've just got this bit here, which is the last bit completely. This is a 60 by 90 diamond painting by Zuya, and I don't think Zuya's going anymore. I don't know what's happened. I was trying to find something on Zuya's page, and it doesn't seem like it's there. I don't know why, but for this video, I don't know why, but I just seem to kind of migrate back to these. I know they are very basic diamond painting pens, but I just like them. And then for my storage, I use these boxes, and you've probably seen them before. This one only takes 2 of these boxes, so I haven't needed to go into 3, 4, 5 boxes. I tend to try and keep my boxes to a minimum, so instead of putting all the diamonds in 3 or 4 of these little containers, what I tend to do is I'll just fill up one of these containers, and then the rest of them I will just bag up in a Ziploc bag. So I've just put that to the side. So the rest of them I have obviously been filling up as I go, so because I'm almost at the end of this diamond painting, there isn't really many of these left, but this is what I use, a Ziploc bag. I just pop in there that it's Alice in Wonderland. With all my diamond paintings, I always put the symbols on. I cut them out from the key that you normally get with the diamond paintings, and then I stick like basically one of these here. I don't know if I come around. My camera is, hang on, I'm trying to figure out where my camera is, so just bear with. There we are. So there's the DP number there, or the DMC number there. That's what I do. I buy these DMC stickers, and I then just stick them on my containers. So like, yeah, so you have to bear with me. I have got my laptop playing so I can see where I am in the shot. I've kind of mirrored my phone to my laptop, but you know, when you kind of move things, they just end up being complete opposite to what you think you're doing. A bit like a trailer on a horse box. You know, you think you're going left, but actually you need to turn right for your trailer to go left. It's a bit complicated. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get stuck in. So the first thing I do when I do my diamond painting is I don't like having to sift through the boxes, so I will bring down the cover paper to about where I'm going to do, and then what I'll do is I'll go through my boxes and I'll pull out all of the numbers all the containers that relate to the symbols. So I need that one, I need that one, that one. Oh, I've got that one out already. So I need this one. I don't really put them in any order, and I should do really, because then this part takes me bloody ages. Okay, and then that's G. And then that one. And then B. Definitely need that one. Where is B? B is there. E, K, Z, P. So I've got this box here, and it's got no number on it, and it's got no symbol on it, which is really bizarre, but I know that that's P, just from experience. I don't know what happened there, but I kind of skipped it completely. E, K, V, E and K there, E and V, Z, I. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and then that little funny one. Okay. Do I need to see? I need to see as well. So that's what I do at the beginning. I just get all my containers out, the ones I'm going to use, just move them to the sides. And so that's that sorted. The tray I use, I always seem to like migrate back to this big one because I much prefer it. So let's get going. So I need that one first. So I always, when I start my diamond paintings, I always start from the top left corner and then I migrate over. So I'll always do the colour that it relates to. So this symbol here is this symbol here. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. It's kind of like a bottom anchor. So I'll do all the bottom anchors, and then I'll go on to this symbol here, which actually you can't even see. So let me see if I can. Okay, so I'm going to just, sorry, I'm actually using my phone at the moment, which is connected to a big arm, but when you touch it, because the arm is movable, it just moves everything. So although you're not going to be able to see the symbols in great detail, you can kind of almost make out that I've got two symbols here that are the same. So I'll start with this one in the corner and then I'll sort of migrate over, and that's generally how I do my diamond paintings. Okay. So I don't know whether I'm fast or slow or whatever, but I tend to start really slow. I think I'm going really slow, but then I do tend to speed up quite a lot as I'm going. But yeah, so this is a diamond painting from Zuya. Like I said earlier, I don't think that they are in business anymore, which is really weird. Drills aren't amazing. They're all different sizes, but I guess that's just what you get sometimes, isn't it, with companies. Just going to stick a bit more wax in. Okay. But I don't know, honestly, I've got 2 cats and called Rascal and Socks, and their hair just gets absolutely everywhere, and I'm constantly pulling hair out of my diamond painting where they'll jump up and it will just get caught, and it's just an absolute nightmare. Because I don't know if you have the same issue, when you try and take the hair off your painting with your tweezers, it literally just breaks. It just breaks, and then it's just a nightmare to try and get off. So I'm gonna give you a bit of information about me. I am 35 years old, 36 in December. Jeez, I'm getting so old. I live in Maysmore in Hampshire. I'm from Fareham in Hampshire. I live in Maysmore in Gloucester. How I got those two mixed up, I have absolutely no idea. So start again. I was born in Oxford. I moved down to Fareham with my family when I was very young. I stayed there for 8 years, 9 years, maybe even 10 years, I think. And then my dad got a job in Kuwait, and we were all shipped out to Kuwait. And I was there for about 4 years, which was quite interesting. Had to learn Arabic. Arabic was one of the languages we had to learn in school. So I was doing English, Arabic, and French, I think. Yeah, I did French in most of my schools, and then it wasn't until I went to my one of my second to last schools before leaving that I did Spanish. That was the first time I picked up Spanish. But so I live in Maysmore in Gloucester, and the reason I live here now is because I came up to do a university degree, and I did that at Hartbury. I actually only live down the road from Hartbury, and I did that in equine science, on the back of which I then went to the States and trained as an equine sports massage therapist, and decided I loved the States and wanted to move out there. So I spoke to my dad, who is my advisor. He's like my go-to man for anything and everything. He's got a seriously intelligent brain on his head, and I don't know, he's just crazy. He's one of those guys, or not just guys, because I guess women are the same. He's just one of those people that you can go to with any question and he knows the answer to it. He's like a walking encyclopedia. He knows so much about so many subjects. It's just unbelievable. And I always said that the guy that I end up marrying and have kids with, I really wished that he could be exactly the same as my dad, because I feel like I've been so lucky with my dad. He's, you know, so super intelligent, that I love that for my kids. And actually, you know, my fiance is pretty similar. They have quite in-depth conversations about complex subjects, and when they get going, they get going. It's quite nice to hear them talking. They are both very intelligent people. But my dad has just gone to Siberia, which is bizarre. So he's just come out of living in Dubai, working out there, and then he did some work in Milan for a while, and now he's on his way to Siberia, which is very crazy. But I digress. Going back to the subject of the States. So I did my sports massage therapy in Florida and absolutely loved it. I'm gonna have to grab some tea, 2 secs. Absolutely loved it. And after my degree, I bought some land, and I bought some land in, well, we're about half an hour outside Atlanta in Georgia. so I could set up a livery yard. And that was the reason that I went to my dad's, because I said to him that I wanted to do some market research in and around the Atlanta area. And after doing quite a bit of research, we decided that Covington would be a really good place to set the business up, because it's like half an hour to 40 minutes outside of Atlanta, and it's also about 15 to 20 minutes from the Olympic Horse Park, or Georgia International Horse Park, which is where they had the 1996 Olympics, and they have God knows how many shows per year. So logistically, it's a really, really good place to park a business, certainly an equine business. So that is what we did. I bought 65 acres, and I recently just put down a deposit on a further 17, which attached to my land. So we've got one whole area now, which is amazing and really super exciting. But we are just waiting for my nan's house to go through. She sadly died in March. So my dad, bless him, being an inheritor of a third of her, basically, oh, hang on, I've missed some, a third of her estate, he's going to lend me some money to build the barn and to get all the stables built and things like that. And I've been saving up money to build a house, which will get started. At least I want to get the foundations done when we go out there, so that when we go out to build the barn, so that when we go out there to start the business, the foundations will be done, and then Frank, my fiance, will just need to do the the framing, so he can start the framing, and then we can get everything sorted, and I can then sort out buying all the furniture from England, because I want to have really nice oak furniture. And I have not found one store in the whole of the USA that sells nice oak furniture. It's all kind of really big, and I don't want to say gaudy. I don't want to bash the states and their taste in furniture or anything like that, because everyone grows up with different tastes, and they probably don't like our furniture because it's probably more than basic for them. But I'm quite a basic person. I like traditional but nice, and a lot of the states is very eccentric. I would say eccentric, but for them it's probably not eccentric. Like I said, our furniture is probably way too basic for them, and so it doesn't fulfill their needs and their wants. But I have found a store in the UK that does really beautiful oak furniture with oak handles, actually, which looks really nice. So I am going to, as soon as I know that the house is watertight, I'm going to order that and get that bought over. So that'll be exciting. So yeah, that's the plan for the future, and I'm hoping that we can go out. I've forgotten what letter I was doing. It's me talking, I've forgotten what I was doing. Hoping we can go out in April to start building, which would be a nice month to do it, because it's just the start of spring and the warmer weather's coming, but it's not too hot to be building. But yes. So I work in a restaurant. So I'm 36 years old and I work in a restaurant as a waitress. The main reason being is that when I need to come away from work for a long period of time, normally 2 to 3 months is the time that I spent in the States, it's easy for me to do that. Whereas if I had a job where I had quite a lot of responsibility, I started out as an accountant. That's what I did when I left school. And I worked my way up to a senior finance manager. but it really limited me because I couldn't do anything. Holiday wise, I'd have to take my laptop, and you know, they couldn't make any financial decisions without me, and it was a real drain. And I just decided that I just didn't want to do that anymore, which is where I looked at, you know, going into working with animals. I hate working with people. I mean, I know I'm a waitress and everything, but I'm not saying I hate people. Not at all, because I wouldn't be able to do my job if I did hate people. But long term, I don't want to be working with people. I want to be working with animals. And although primarily a livery yard or a boarding facility, as they call it in the States, you are working with people technically, because you're dealing with people, because you're, you know, looking after people's horses. So you are going to be dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, you know, being owners. However, it's not on an intimate basis, you know, whereas being a waitress, you know, you're dealing with people on an intimate level, because you're taking people's orders, you're asking how their day is, and, you know, you're building up a rapport and a relationship with them so you can give them a much better experience. But although I do need to be building a rapport and a relationship with the owner, see, look, here we go, here's another hair. It's a nightmare, and there's nothing I can do about it because they just, I don't know, they just jump on my desk all the time. And it's so hard to get up. Okay. Where was I? What was I talking about? Working with people, yeah. So although I'm not dealing with people on an intimate level daily, I am obviously dealing with people on an intimate level because I'm looking after the loves of their lives. You know, people's horses are the most important thing to them, their well-being and, you know, how they're looked after and everything. But it's not, like I said, it's not on a daily basis. So I can't wait for that. Really exciting. But also, I much prefer being on a yard. We call it yard, and I don't know if I've got any American subscribers, but we call a horse yard a yard, where you'd call it a barn, I think. When you say I'm going down the yard in the UK, and then you'd say, oh, I'm going down to the barn in the States. That's what I've picked up over my time out there anyway. Yeah, I much prefer to be on a yard working with horses and being out in the, well, in the UK at the moment it's freezing cold, so being out in this weather is not fun for anyone, but just want to be out, you know, just in the fresh air instead of stuck in a restaurant. It just makes me stink like a fryer every time I come home from work. So I'll stink of horses instead, but you know, for me that's a nice smell. Okay, so once I have done a letter, I will then just move it to the other side so I know that's done, and then go on to the next one. If you hear my tummy rumbling, I do apologise. I haven't actually eaten anything yet. It's what time is it? It's 1:10 in the afternoon. I had a pretty busy day today. So last night, I don't really get to see my fiance very often. Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to call him my other half because I don't know why I don't like the word fiance. But last night when I came home from work, I finished work at 5. And then came straight home. and then had a shower and de-restauranted, and then I didn't really do any diamond painting. I did a little bit in the evening, but not too much. I did a bit more on my time-lapse video for this one actually. But because I don't really see Frank very often, we decided to have some us time, and I started watching a movie. What did I start watching? Oh, Lincoln. I think I started watching Lincoln, but I haven't seen all of it. So what I'll do is tonight I'll get the rest of it. But yeah, it was just a really nice evening. He doesn't eat. It's just so bizarre. So he works in a restaurant as well, but he works in a different restaurant to me, but in the same area. So we both work in somewhere called Gloucester Quays, and it's a big outlet centre, and it's just got it's on the river, River Severn, and it is a really nice area. And he works for a French restaurant, whereas I work for an American restaurant, and the restaurants are actually basically in front of each other, so we can see each other's restaurants from each other's restaurants. And so he's working, and I completely forgot what I was saying. I think I was going to say something like we never get to see each other, and he never eats because he works in a restaurant, so he works with food all the time. And then when he gets home, he doesn't like what I eat, which is fair enough. I have decided to go, okay, embrace yourself. Like, don't judge me, because I haven't gone full out flat, but I have decided to become a vegan, but not a true vegan. I've just decided to cut out dairy and meat, just for my own health. I watched a documentary on Netflix a while back called What the Health, and then there was another one. There's loads and loads of documentaries on cancer and how diet can help kill cancer, and how it can help you can actually stop yourself from getting cancer by having the correct diet and things like that. And this documentary, I kid you not, scared the absolute bejeebies out of me. And how some foods can cause cancer, red meat being the big one. Huge red flags for meat being a massive carcinogen. And that was just like, whoa. So I mean, I'm not a kind of a serious vegan. I haven't eaten any meat in 3-4 weeks since becoming vegan. And I don't eat dairy, but I do eat eggs. Now, eggs is only bad because they're quite fatty. They do have a lot of protein, but because their role is to be a food source for the growing chicks, they have been known to count towards obesity levels in people. But I love eggs, and eggs they tend to be a daily source of protein and things like that for me. But on the other hand, I feel like I'm okay with eggs purely because I work out a lot. I've got a horse, and I'm running around a restaurant for 12 hours a day, and I must do about 25,000 steps plus about 6 to 8 kilometers in walking every day, fast walking. So I feel that actually they're fine, and they don't cause me any issues. Now, I have found that since being on a vegan diet, my health has improved so much. I mean, I've always been a healthy person. I don't want to say my health has improved. What I mean is, I was constantly complaining about having constipation and almost like a form of IBS. My stomach was always bloated, and I always felt kind of rough after eating foods. It's difficult where I work because, you know, our main food source is burgers and ribs and, you know, chicken and things like that. So we're very much a meat restaurant. But I have things like vegetarian fajitas, which actually happen to be vegan as well. But I'll have, you know, the sour cream. So like I say, I'm not crazy vegan. The vegan burger, really delicious. I actually really like the vegan burger at work. And I've definitely noticed a difference in myself. I have loads more energy. I'm not feeling so tired. I'm sleeping properly. I don't wake up in the middle of the night 15 times a night, and that's great because when you do a close at work, that can be anything between 11:30 and 12:30, and then I have to then get up in the morning to go and do my horse at about 8 o'clock, and it's just knackering, you know, that constant on the go. And even my partner said that he's noticed that I'm way less bloated. I mean, that's a massive thing coming from him. I mean, he wouldn't even notice if I came in with my knickers on my head. So for him to say that he's noticed that I look a lot less bloated, I mean, that's just great. So, but he's also said on the same token, don't try and convert me because I love my meat too much. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't know if something's going to happen to my phone. I don't know. Give me 1 second because something's happened to my phone. Oh, hang on. There we are. Sorry about that. So it's still recording, but my phone just went dark. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, he said that he noticed that I'm a lot less bloated, and I'm not complaining about being so uncomfortable after eating, which is fab. So I know it's not gluten because I eat pasta and I feel fine after that. But dairy was a huge one. I think dairy really upset me, and I thought dairy was going to be the biggest one to cut out actually, because I love tea. I mean, I drink about 15 to 20 cups of tea a day, which I know is really bad, but I have cashew milk in my tea and it just tastes delicious. I don't really notice any difference, and I'm so glad because I honestly thought that tea was going to be the biggie, that I just would fail. It'd be an epic fail straight away because I wouldn't be able to have milk, and I haven't bought milk in, well, since I went vegan. Like, I want to say fake vegan because, you know, I do eat eggs. And if anything has got like traces of milk powder and traces of this, I'm not going to have it. It's just I don't want to have like out and out, you know, dairy products and things like that. Like I said, I'll have sour cream at work, you know, not masses of it, but I will have it. So I'm not, you know, a true vegan, but definitely cutting out the milk and the dairy has helped me no end. But yeah. So tonight I am trying one of Jamie Oliver's dishes, and it's a aubergine based curry. It's vegetarian, but it's also vegan, and I didn't out and out go for it because it was vegan. I went for it because it looked really nice and there wasn't any meat product in it, but it actually is vegan completely, which is amazing. My stomach's rumbling, I'm really sorry. I haven't eaten today. I've had a bit of a hectic day. So I got up early this morning to go and sort the horse out. She's something I had to do every morning. I've got a 17, she's probably about 17, 2.5, if not 17.3 Belgian warm blood, who is currently injured. Again, story of my life. She is always injured. At the beginning of the summer, she had a tendon injury, so she had to be off work for a few months, and then that was fine. She got the all clear for that, and then what happened? Then she got shod, so she had her feet done, and well, she doesn't have shoes on, she just got a trim, but the farrier trimmed her too far back, and then she ended up being footsore, which meant that she was off for another 2 weeks until her feet had grown enough to be able to support her sole. So then she was off then, and then she jumped a field and went in with another mare that absolutely like hates her, so she ended up getting kicked by this mare. And my horse is a mare as well, and she's every bit mare, I'm telling you. So then she was off work with that, because her knee blew up completely. And now she has got I don't know what she's done. I don't know whether she's gone down to roll, and then when she's got up, she's done the splits, and she has somehow damaged a nerve or a muscle or something. Me and the vet can't work out what it is. However, it's progressively getting better. But it meant that she walked, almost looked string-halty. Now, string-halt is a degenerative nerve disease in horses, and it causes the nerves, basically the nerves that control the movement. So generally back end. So they will hyperflex their leg when they walk. So they will pick their leg up really high and then walk forward, and then pick their leg up really high and then walk forward. And now it usually is a movement that affects both legs, but then she's only doing it in the one. So I got the vet out because I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't anything to do with the brain. So, and there is a word for that, and it's completely gone. I've had such a busy day today, I can't even begin. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't anything to do with her brain and the communication breakdown there, and it isn't. He's 100% confident that it's nothing to do with that. But without doing like a million MRI scans at £1,500 a time, it does seem to be getting better. So I think it's just going to be a time thing. We decided to pull her out of work completely. She's been out of work now, well, because of the other injuries as well, she's been out of work since May, and it's now end of October. So she's had a great life. Neurological, there we are. There's a word, it just come to me. So to make sure that she isn't neurological, and which she isn't, because she knows she's got a proprioception of her feet, she knows where she's putting her feet, that's fine. It's just a hyperflexion of the limb. So that seems to be going. She's very slightly asymmetric behind, but it's not to the extent that it was before. So he came out to see her again last week and said that, it's getting better, but let's just keep her off work, because I don't want you to bring her into work and then for it to get worse, and then us to be down that path where, well, we think if you had just kept her out of work for a little bit longer until it 100% gone, then you probably wouldn't be in this situation now. So that's fine. I decided to pull her out of work. So she hasn't done any work for a long time. She's starting to lose some of her muscle, which is a bit of that's like one of the massive downfalls about bringing your horse out of work. It just it loses condition. But it is what it is. My horse is in a lot better state than some people's horses. At least I've still got her. At least I can ride her when she's back in work. So I'm thankful for that. I never ever complain that my horse is in the state that she is in, because so many people have worst case scenarios, and you know, I don't. It's something I've got to deal with. It is what it is. It's just get on with it, don't you? So this morning I went down the yard at about 8, and oh my god, I'm so tired. Sorry. I went down the yard about 8 o'clock, mucked her out, and at the moment they're in a field which has got like no grass whatsoever. So I had to then put extra hay in, but they're getting wormed tomorrow, and then when they get wormed they're moving to another field. But it's just a ball ache just having to go down the yard and then make sure that the field's got enough hay in. And because there's no grass, the horses are getting really crappy with each other. So the other horse that she's in with, Hector, she's in with a boy because she likes him. She's very, she's one of those horses that doesn't like change. She likes what she likes, and that's it. You know, she'll jump into a field and decide that that's going to be her field buddy, and you're not going to change it. And if you put her back into a field with another horse, she'll just jump back into the field with the buddy she wants to be with. So it's just easier just leaving her with the horse that she wants to be with. But they have just started getting really angsty with each other, putting hay in. So we'll have to put like 2 big bundles separate so they're not near each other, because my horse isn't a kicker. And although the other horse that she's in the field with, I've never seen him kick her. He's constantly like spinning his back end round as a warning. I mean, he is a little bit old, so he probably couldn't even lift his legs up even if he wanted to, but I just don't like it. But my horse is a biter, so when he does that, she retaliates and ears back and, you know, bites him on the neck. But and she does that when I'm around all the time. She's so protective of me that if she comes up to me and then another horse comes up to me, she's like ears back and then warns them to not come near me because I'm her owner. She's very sensitive like that. She's just sensitive, full stop. She's a nightmare. She's a very sensitive horse, which causes me daily struggles. So she doesn't clip very well because she hates clippers, which is fine. But you know, I'm hoping with her being out for another few months, it means that we can bypass winter and not have to worry about clipping her out when I bring her back into work. So that's fine. That works for me, because she's a horse that needs sedating, like literally on the floor sedating by a vet to be able to clip her. She doesn't like her feet being done. I mean, she's fine with a trim now, but putting shoes on her was an absolute nightmare. So I decided to relinquish the daily or the 6-week struggle of putting shoes on her and decided to have her bare feet. And her feet are just in amazing condition right now. It was definitely the best thing I could have done. But she's, you know, she's not out competing every weekend, so she doesn't need shoes on. And when she eventually moves to the States with me, she'll fly. So for that, they have to have no shoes on anyway. So it just means that she's not going to have the issue of going footsore when she flies. Which a lot of horses do. You take your shoes off and then suddenly they're lame because they're footsore. But you know, we don't have any of that, so that's fine. That's fine. She won't be in a stable on her own. She is very, very what's the word? She's got separation anxiety, so she will be happy to be in a stable, but she has to have a horse next to her. She won't be in a stable on her own, otherwise she does somersaults in her stable. In fact, she's so bad that my vet even said when she had the tendon injury, where ordinarily you'd put a horse on box rest for like about a week whilst the tendon is healing, because my horse does somersaults in her stable, he said put her out. I mean, that's how bad she is. But you know, she's not a complete tit in the field, so it was fine to pop her out. She just walks around, doesn't really run around the field or cause any issues, but she does jump fields, which is a nightmare, but she hasn't done it for a while, which is great. So she's just not easy. Well, horse is an absolute nightmare. And so she doesn't clip. she doesn't really hack out on her own, again, because she has this issue of separation anxiety. She tends to rear up a lot, which is fan-bloody-tastic. So you can't really ever do anything on your own because she has to have another horse. Now in the arena, she's fine on her own in the arena. What else? So she doesn't clip, she doesn't go out on her own, she won't stay in a stable on her own without another horse. She doesn't box, so she doesn't go in a box, she doesn't load. However, having said that, I think that if I was to put her with another horse, if another horse was to go in a box first, I think actually she might be alright. But she panics. She's a massive panicker. So that's also a nightmare. So that's going to be fun when we fly her out to the States. But the company that are travelling her said that they would make sure that she was the last pickup. So, you know, hopefully they can get her on absolutely fine. But yes, but she has got her good qualities. I mean, she's a beautiful mover. Temperament wise, her temperament, well, she can be angsty, she can be very marish, but she can have serious attitude. I mean, God, she's like a child sometimes. She doesn't want to do something, she'll stamp her feet or she'll rear up. She's loads of fun. But anyway, let's get off the subject of my horse, because I'm probably boring you shitless right now. So I've covered how old I am, I've covered where I live, I've covered, obviously my horse is a hobby of mine, an expensive hobby. Other things I love doing is crochet. So I have subscribed to a crochet subscription box called it's Crochet Society, and Sarah Jane Fragola, who has a YouTube channel called Bella Coco, she has put out this subscription box for crochet, and I absolutely love it. My credit card for some reason decided that it was going to send me a new credit card and then cancelled the old one, and I didn't realise, so my subscription box got cancelled. So I've got box 1 to 4. I'm going to miss box 5, and then I've got box 6 coming because I had to set up a new subscription, so I'm going to have to buy box 5 separately, which is fine. But I am one of those people who just collects them. I'm just so sad. I just collect them. I don't do anything out with them because I like them all on my shelf untouched, and I don't like using anything. So all of the yarns that we've got, I haven't used any of them. I don't know why I do that. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm also the type of person that will buy a book and then I will put I'll buy an audio book of the same one because I like listening to audiobooks while I diamond paint. And instead of reading the book, because I like all my books lined up on the shelf, I will then also buy the Kindle version. So I end up buying the book 3 times because I'm a muppet. I wouldn't say I've got OCD. I would say I've got issues, but I don't know if OCD is a little bit strong. And I know people get offended with the word OCD getting bandied around when people haven't been diagnosed. But yeah. So this morning, oh my god. So anyway, so going back onto this whole vegan thing, I decided that I was going to do this curry from Jamie Oliver, and it looked lush. It's an aubergine curry and it's got coconut milk in, and I love coconut milk. So I got all the ingredients, absolutely fine. I've got stacks of garam masala because every single time that something calls for garam masala I buy another one, not realising that I've got like, I don't know, 11 other garam masalas in my cupboard. But the one thing that I went to Tesco's for, my grocery store, I completely forgot, which was cat food. I went there to get cat biscuits, and then I decided whilst I was there that I thought it'd be a good idea to get stuff for this curry so I can make a curry later. And on reading all of the ingredients, I walked out. Well, I thought I had rice at home. I've normally got stacks of rice. Things like I seem to have, I don't know if anyone finds the same thing. I seem to have stacks of porridge, stacks of rice, and stacks of spaghetti or pasta. I never seem to run out of any of those, and I tend to buy more and buy more thinking I don't have any. So I was thinking, okay, so I didn't even think of rice because it didn't come up on the ingredients. I didn't even think about it, and I got home, and the one thing that I was meant to go for, bloody cat food, I forgot. Didn't even pick that up, and I've got no freaking rice. So after bringing my horse in later, I've got to go to bloody Tesco again, which is an absolute nightmare, because I'm then going to hit all the traffic, because I bring my horse in about 5 o'clock now, because the clocks have gone back, so we're losing an hour of light in the evening. Although we're getting an hour of light in the morning, we're losing it in the evening now. So, and I don't really want to bring her in too early, so I've got to go to Tesco to get some rice and some cat biscuits, which is just a nightmare. I couldn't believe it. I could have kicked myself. Honestly, this cat hair is driving me insane. So after I went and did my horse, I have Tuesdays and Wednesdays off, and Tuesdays tend to be a busy-ish morning for me. So the first thing I do is I'll go and do my horse, and then I'll go to Tesco and then get some bits for food, breakfast and dinner and things like that. And then I will go and do some banking. So I'll sort my banking out, and then I'll get back. And so this morning I did my horse, then I went to Tesco and forgot half the stuff I was supposed to get, which was a complete wasted journey. And then I went to the bank, and then I came back. I put some washing on. I then thought it'd be a good idea to start sorting out the spare room. The spare room is where I keep all my craft stuff, so all of my diamond painting. And I have got, after sorting it out and actually looking at what diamond paintings I have got 17 in my stash. Can't believe it. To do. A few of those are Ever Moment ones, so I'm really looking forward to them. And I've got one from Meian, M-E-I-A-N, which are a good store. And I've got some from Kwafkey, K-W-A-F-K-E-Y, I think that's how you say it. I've got 3 from them. And I've got a couple from Hurricane, which I am really upset about because I hate Hurricane. But I bought them before all of this stuff went on about their diamonds popping and things like that. So I'm stuck with them. And then I've got another 2 from Meian, M-E-I-A-N. I don't know how you say that. Let's see. And then I've got one from Row Diamonds. I've got a Row Diamonds one that is a work in progress right now. And then I've got an Alice in Wonderland that's a Row Diamonds. I've got some tulips. I got one tulips which is an Ever Moment, and then I decided to buy the same painting because I'm just sad, from Row Diamonds, but change the pink because the pink wasn't quite the right pink that is for my room, because I like quite a dusky pink, whereas the tulips from Ever Moment seem to be more of a kind of baby pink. And I think what I'm going to do is, when I have a family eventually, I'm going to do the other tulips and put it in, if I have a girl, in the in their room, in her room, because it's quite, I don't want to waste it. It is very pretty. And then I've got this one that I'm doing at the moment, a yellow rose I'm doing at the moment. I'm sure I've forgotten loads. I've got another purple flower I'm doing from Row Diamonds. Yeah, so I counted, I've got 17 in my stash, and I've got 5 that are an actual work in progress that I'm doing at the moment. But I also decided to sort out my drills, so my spare drills. So I am a bit of a snob when it comes to diamond paintings. There's only a few companies I like using, but just because I like to know where I am. And because of this reason, I don't mix the drills. So I have got my drills for Ever Moment. My drills for, give me 1 second. I really struggle to do things and talk at the same time. I need Z. And I can't. So my drills for Ever Moment, my spare drills for Ever Moment, go in these tubs again, but I keep them separate from all of the other spares, just because I find the drills are much better quality. I don't like to mix. And then when I've got spares from the other companies, I will just, you know, I'll just put them, if I've got a real colour difference, I'll just have the two together in 2 of these pots. And but they might have the same DMC codes, but I don't know if you can see that. Hello. There we go. There. Okay, yeah, so they might have the same DMC codes, but sometimes you can have them that have like a real difference in colour. Even like this one, for example, these obviously these aren't the same DMC codes, but you can see, you know, a huge difference in the colour. Oh my god, I don't even know where my camera is right now. There we go. It's so difficult to do this when you can't see where your camera is. There you go. Okay, anyway, let's leave that. So I sorted all my diamonds out today, and all my spares, and got them all sorted out. P B. Half of these I've done already, and then I've just missed. Oh, I've just missed a load, so bear with while I go back. I do that all the time, so I think I've got them all, and then they'll be like, oh no, you've missed like 3, and you have to redo them again. E, where are you? E. My diamond paintings I normally buy for art for my house. So every single painting that I buy, is to go on as wall art for my new home. So I'm going to build, so I've got an office going in my new house, and I'm also going to use it as, for now, a diamond painting craft room. So I'll have a big table in the middle, which means that I'll be able to spread out and have a proper setup, a proper camera setup. I'll buy a proper camera as well, because at the moment I'm only using my phone. And that would be much better for doing videos and things. And then once everything's up and I've got a bit more money saved, I'm going to build an external, because we've got quite a big garden. I mean, we've got 100 acres almost, so you know, with the new acreage as well. So you know, we've got a massive garden, so we can build basically what we want in it. And I've asked Frank if he would build me an external craft room, so I can go out of the house and do it, you know. And he said, yeah, that's fine, because he's a carpenter as well as a chef. And then once I've got that sorted out, then I can place certain arts pictures in there. So for example, this painting I'm doing of Alice in Wonderland, it doesn't fit in my house really. It doesn't fit with any decor or any room. So it's going to go in my craft of diamond paintings like that, where I bought them just because I love the colours and I think it'll be an awesome painting to do, but it won't really fit with any room in the house. So these ones will go in my craft room when it's built. And then I've got a lot of the other ones, so like the yellow rose, because my office is primarily going to be yellow, it's going to go really nicely in there. And then I'm doing some pink peonies, which is not it's not involved in any of the time-lapse videos that I'm doing at the moment. That's just what I'm doing, you know, on my own without having to record any videos. That's stunning. That's going in my bedroom, And then I've got a really beautiful peacock. So I've got a 3 peacock painting that kind of goes like they're 70 by 50. They're going in my master bathroom, because they're gorgeous. They're like a blue stroke turquoisey colour. So all of the walls in the house are going to be a dove grey. We're just going to paint them all dove grey. I just think it's a lovely colour. It's very versatile. It goes with everything and it looks really nice. And then we're going to accessorise. That's basically how I'm going to decorate everything. So that peacock, those peacocks are going in the bathroom. And then I've got another peacock which is huge. It's like 120 by, oh, it's absolutely massive. That's going in the guest room. So that guest room is going to be like a bluey colour, which would be really nice. And then I've got 2 purple flowers that are going in the other guest room, or the spare room. And that's really gorgeous. And then what else? The lion. So the lion that I'm doing at the moment, the 60 by 60 lion, that's going to go in the hall with a tiger and an owl, which I haven't done yet. I haven't bought yet either. I need to kind of chill with my spending at the moment. So like I said earlier, I've got 17 in my stash, but I've just ordered 3 more paintings. I ordered 2 from Dispaint, which were a 5-panel. They're 5-panel, and they say love, and one is red and one is green. Both the same size. I couldn't decide which one to buy, so I bought them both. Because that's just the nightmare person I am, which is why I've never got any money. Because I'm very much the type of person, if I can't choose, I'll just buy it in every colour. which is a bit of a nightmare, but it's just the way I am. So definitely one of those is going to go in the kitchen, and then the other one's going to go in the living room. The living room is again going to be dove grey, and it's going to have red accessories, but not too much, just dashes of red accessories, so like red candles. And I've got a really beautiful diamond painting I've got my eye on, which is, it looks like a big ballerina. It's 80 by 80, and it's got like a creamy background, but then it almost looks like painted, like a lady in I can't really explain it. She almost like she's in a big ballerina costume thing, but I think it just looks stunning. So that's going to go in the living room as well. And what else am I doing that is going on the wall? Haven't got anything else at the moment. But the two love paintings that I've bought are from Dispaint, and I haven't tried them before. There's been a lot of reviews about them, so I decided that I would try them. And I decided not to wait for the sale, because someone very cleverly, and it does make sense, said to me that, well, basically I put a poll out on Diamond Painting UK to see who do you think I should buy this diamond painting from, because two suppliers, they actually did the same painting, and it was between Home Fun and Dispaint. Now I haven't done any from Home Fun yet. I've got a painting from Home Fun, but I haven't actually completed it, so I can't have an opinion on what their paintings are like. So I put a poll out, and then someone said, actually, to be honest, they're all great until you recommend it, and then everyone goes on a massive shop haul to that company because it's been recommended to have like really good drills or really good canvas. And then what happens is that because they're inundated with orders, the quality goes down, and the canvases end up being really crappy, and because they're just, you know, rushing to get everything out. And that makes sense. So instead of buying these in a sale, I know they've got a sale on 11.11. I think I was going to save like 70 pence on one and 80 pence on another. I decided before the massive rush of the sale, I would get my orders in first so that they're not stressing and doing everything really quickly. So I've got the two love ones from Dispaint, and then I've got another one from Evermoment, because I just love Evermoment, which is a really beautiful painting on, it's like loads of spoons lined up with lots and lots of different spices, and it just is a very, very beautiful painting. So I decided that I was going to go for that one. No, I don't need any more. Story of my life, have issues. I can't do them quick, and then I'm buying them at the moment, but I absolutely love them. Oops. I've got another home painting and a home sweet home painting that's in my stash as well. Oh gosh, I don't know, just got loads. The drills on this one aren't too bad. They're not amazing. They do seem to be like different sizes, which is the main reason why I separated my Evermoment ones, because I love my Evermoment drills. So I've got separate boxes for my Evermoment spares, and then all the other spares just go, they're all a much of a muchness. So they just go in the same box. Oh dear. I'm almost at the end of this one now, which is really exciting. So I think what I'll end up doing is, because this is such a big painting, I tend to turn it round and work from, so when I've been doing this painting, I've been working from the top left down, and then there's the top down, then top down, then top down. So I end up having halfway through this, because it's a 90 centimeter length, I have to switch it round halfway. So I'll end up, when this is done, I'll end up turning this painting round. And so then I've got the top of it will be this bit here. And then I'll work down per usual. The actual canvas itself though is really clear. I've not had any issues with the canvas at all. So just going back onto the hobby topic, I do love, as you know, I love diamond painting. I love doing the time-lapse videos. I just love doing the time-lapse videos. So I've pretty much almost finished this one. I've almost finished the lion, which means that I've got space for another time-lapse video. I think I'm going to have just 2 on the go next time rather than, oops, 3. Where did that go? I don't know where that went. Because 3 is a bit hard to juggle. So once I finish this one on the lion, I'll then just have the yellow rose, and what I can do is I can do one more time-lapse video, because I've got others that I'm doing in the background that aren't time-lapse videos. So it all just becomes a bit too much otherwise. I love crochet, as I've mentioned. I actually like doing cross stitch. I find it really relaxing. It's something you can do when you know, you're chilled out and you can put a film on, and but because my diamond paintings all seem to be quite big ones, I don't really like doing it in front of the TV. I just don't have the space to do that. I haven't got a dining room table in my living room where I can put a film on, you know, and use the space. And with sharing a house, I live in a house share as well, which is just crap, but you know, you do what you have to do. What else do I like doing? I like reading. However, I don't have an awful lot of time to do it, which is why I like audiobooks, because it's something I can do whilst I'm doing this. I love listening to audiobooks. And some of my favourites authors includes Patricia Cornwell, who is a crime writer. She does very good books on forensics, like murder mysteries, but the mysteries become solved by, you know, like intricate details on forensics and things. I mean, her knowledge of forensics is incredible. So I love reading her books. I also love authors such as Santa Montefiore. I think she's a British writer. She lives in London. Yeah, she actually lives in Kensington, very posh area. And she writes really good, feel-good novels, which are easy reading, just the types of books that are, they just give you a big hug, you know, they wrap you around them and enable you to absorb the story and just lose yourself within the moment. And her books are absolutely lovely. And I also love, who's very, very similar, Millie Johnson. Millie Johnson is one of my all-time favourite authors as well. She's a Yorkshire writer. And the audiobooks are also done by a Yorkshire lass. And they are just lovely. They're the same as the Santa Montefiore. They are just hugs in a book, and they absorb you and enable you to lose your life and become part of the lives of the people in the books. They are easy reading. They always have twists. They've made me cry, made me laugh. They're just great books. So that's 3 authors. Oh, Lee Childs, I love Lee Childs. You have to pay attention to his books a bit more, I find. Just, you need to know what's going on, because things happen and change quickly. So they're more for, you know, a sit down read, not doing anything else. Who else do I like? Who else is my... Oh, Sophie Kinsella. I was just looking on my bookshelf. I've got lots of her books. Sophie Kinsella. She's funny. I find her books pretty hilarious. Very good feel good books. Really funny. Really good stories. Clever. I think there's something wrong with my eyesight. Yeah, she's another one. My favourite authors. Again, I don't really tend to do a lot of reading because I prefer to do my diamond painting. You know, and I'll watch things on TV whilst I'm doing diamond painting. Or crochet. It's another one where you can actually watch TV whilst you're doing it. Just finished the whole season of Suits, the whole 9 seasons of Suits. Absolutely blitzed through it whilst doing my time-lapse videos. Loved that. Really sad that I'm no longer going to have a relationship with Harvey Specter, or he's no longer going to be in my life anymore. But things always come to an end. I don't know if they're going to be doing any more seasons. Does anyone know? What else? Oh, Downton Abbey. Loved all of Downton Abbey. Completely in love with that series. Just fills me with joy watching that. And my manager, who was very like, Downton Abbey, you're so sad, because I said to him a couple of weeks ago that I was going to go and watch the film in the cinema. And I don't very often watch films in the cinema. I have to really want to see something in the cinema to watch it. So I think the thing before that was, oh, what did I watch in the cinema before that? What were we, October? Oh my God, I can't even remember what I watched in the cinema last. And I went with a friend as well. What did we go and see? I can't even remember. That's how often I go to the cinema. Like, I can't even remember the film before. But yeah, so the film that we saw was Downton Abbey, and then when I told him, he told me how sad I was. But he's fallen into Downton Abbey somehow, and he absolutely loves it. He's just going through the seasons. So there. I think after this bit I'm going to call it a day, because this video is going to be so long otherwise, and it's going to take me 15 days to upload it. Sometimes I quite like putting diamond painting videos on, you know. People who do WIP and Chats, like Ella, she's a diamond painting enthusiast, and she's got her own channel, and she's hilarious. I love watching her videos. And who are the other people that I like? I like watching 4 Kids at 147. Is it 4 Kids at 147? Rebecca on there. She's always full of tips and tricks and information, unboxings and things like that. I will do an unboxing video on my disc paints when I receive it, because I love watching unboxing videos as well. I think the thing is, I think the problem with my channel is that because I've got 3 diamond paintings that I'm doing time-lapse videos for at the moment, they're kind of taking precedence over everything. And because I haven't really got loads of money right now, I haven't been buying a lot, so I've not been doing any unboxings. And because I've got 5 on the go already at the moment, and I'm running out of my storage containers, I haven't been doing any organised with me videos either. So everything is just being put on the back burner right now. Oh gosh, my nose. I don't know if you can hear my radiator. It's just so noisy. And our heating system's not the best at the moment. We live in a really old cottage that's about 400 years old. And although it's got central heating, I think the boiler is giving up the ghost, and the whole system really needs replacing, but I don't think the landlord is too keen on doing that. So a lot of the radiators seem to have air pockets in them, or air holes, and they're not warming up properly, they're not sustaining the heat properly. The boiler itself is just an absolute nightmare. So you fill it up with water to get the pressure up, and you need the pressure up in order for the pressure to help with the central heating system. And after you filled it up, within like 10 minutes, it's just dropped out. I think we've got a leak in our boiler somewhere. However, it is super old. I mean, I don't think it's quite as old as a house, 300 years, but I think you're pretty much, you're getting there. think it's probably a good 40, 50 years old. I don't know. It's just really old. On top of which our Wi-Fi is basically crap. And it takes 3 years to upload a video. But it is what it is. It's definitely time for another cup of tea after this video. My voice has gone so, well, my throat's gone really dry where I've been talking. So this vegan food, some of it is really nice, you know, and some of it is bloody awful. So I bought some plant-based sausages the other day. I mean, I know you can't really call them sausages because they're not made of meat, yada yada yada. And they have got a very acquired aftertaste. And unfortunately, without realising, I also bought the same brand in meatballs to make a like a meatball pasta, and they're vile. And even like Frank last night, because like I said, he doesn't eat with me, he said I basically left 4 of the meatballs, and he said, "Oh, you're not eating them?" And I was like, "No." And before I even got to say anything, he'd like literally bomb straight in his mouth, waiting anxiously for his reaction because he didn't realise they weren't real meat. Well, I don't know why, because I don't eat meat and he knows that. And then he was just like, "Oh, they're not nice." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. If you had like basically waited for me to tell you that they were a vegan option, plant-based option, before you threw them in your gob, you might not have had such a shock." However, I got given some corn sausages from my flatmate the other day, and they are nice. So I think I am just going to stick to corn food. Play it safe. Gee. There's nothing worse than buying food that you try for the first time and it's just gross and you just wasted all that money. Hey ho. It's so quiet in the house with no one here. It's really nice. So my partner's out work, shooting, and then he's got work later. My flatmate's at work. I've got the house to myself, and it's so nice. It's a rarity, believe me. My flatmate's a bit of an intermittent worker. So sometimes he works and sometimes he doesn't. And he's so lazy. He's got his new business. He set up his new business. And like, he doesn't even show up for half the days he's supposed to do. I just think, you know, I'm not being funny, but if I was a client of yours, I'd demand my money back. He'll come home, you know, from work, and he'll say to me, tomorrow all he wants to do is have like a Netflix and a chill day. But he got sacked from like 3 other jobs when we moved in because he constantly called in sick, because that's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to watch Netflix and have a chill day. And I just think, God, what a sad existence. And he said that, you know, if we'd had this conversation before, he said that if he didn't ever have to work, you know, he wouldn't. And I just think, what, like, I know people don't like working, but I said, so what would you do? He said, all I want to do is watch TV all day. I'm like, wow, I couldn't physically do that. I mean, I could maybe have a day of watching TV and then I'd get so bored. But genuinely, he'd have, where he got sacked and looking for another job, he'd have weeks and weeks and weeks of just sitting at home doing absolutely nothing. And it just used to piss me off because, you know, I come home from work and I have my 2 days off, and all I want to do is be able to have some chill out time and some quiet time without having to listen to his racket of TV downstairs that he has on super loud. And because our internet is a bit rubbish, it means that on the days that he's off, like, I then can't watch anything. I can't upload any videos because he's taken stream time. And it's just, oh God, it was just a nightmare. So it's nice that he's working because the house is lovely and quiet. And I've got one of my cats is asleep on my bed. He's not really loving this weather either. The other one is asleep in the bed in the other room because he also isn't a fan of this weather either. It's a bit odd, isn't it? In the UK at the moment, when I went down the yard this morning, it was 5 degrees. And that's just so cold. So I've changed out, even though I haven't clipped my horse. She did have a lightweight rug on for a while because it wasn't overly freezing. But it went from like 12 degrees, like overnight, literally went from 12 degrees and it shot down to 5. So I went into the field and I changed her lightweight for a medium weight. So she's all nice and warm. And it's got a neck on it as well, so it keeps her really toasty. But it is really cold at the moment. It's just blimmin' freezing. And I think the heating's going off. Yep. So I'm going to have to stick that back on again. I think it's going to be a day of heating on because it's so cold outside. But I've had a pretty good day today. So I think we've established 15 times that I went and did my horse this morning. And then I went to the shops and we established that because I was a complete donut and forgot half the stuff I was supposed to buy. And then I got home and then I sorted out the spare room with all my drills. We've covered that as well. And I put a washing on. Oh God, washing. Who has issues with washing baskets and boyfriends? Or should I say other halves? So because I was getting so fed up with Frank stuffing everything in the washing machine together, colours, blacks, whites, greys, oh, you name it, I bought one of those washing baskets that I thought was going to be a simple idea, and it separates the whites from the darks from the colours. Now, to anyone who is vaguely normal, you would put the whites in the whites, you would put, you know, the blacks in the darks, or dark grey and black, or anything that's dark colour, so like a maroon, burgundy, you know, and then anything else would go into the colours. He cannot manage to separate any of the washing into the appropriate basket separation things, or whatever it is. So I went in there today, and there's whites in the colours, there's colours in the blacks, there's blacks in the whites, there's whites in the blacks. Oh my god, it took me like 20 minutes to try and sort out the colours so I could put a wash on. And the other thing is, I mean, when I do my washing, I tend to do his as well. One thing that really bugs me is whenever he does his washing, and on the very rare occasion that he does his washing, he doesn't ever put any of my stuff in. And on the other hand, the other issue I've got is that I keep saying to him, look, unless you literally put your washing in the washing machine, it's not going to wash itself. I don't know whether you think it's going to sprout legs and just walk itself there, but it's not. It hasn't done that yet. It isn't going to do that. So you need to physically put your washing into your washing machine and switch it on if you want clean clothes. Bugs the hell out of me. So after I sorted out the washing basket and put everything in the appropriate colour section, I then stuck a wash on, and oh, now I've got the oh, I hate the job of trying to then put it on the dryer. I just hate anything to do with washing. I hate ironing, I hate washing, I hate drying, I hate putting it away. I just hate washing. So I did that, and then I had a shower, and then I made a cup of tea, and then came straight down, sat straight down and did diamond painting. And my stomach is rumbling. So I think after this one I'm going to call it a day. And then I'm going to go and get the washing out, have that dry, grab something to eat. And then I'll probably do some more of this, but on the time-lapse video. I think I'm gonna have to try and sort out the heating as well, because it's bloody freezing in it at the moment. And although it's on, I can hear it whirring away. It doesn't really seem to be doing much. I might just put I've got a fan heater behind me as well, but I didn't want to put it on because it makes quite a loud noise. And I didn't really want it interrupting any of the sounds. So I might put my audiobook on. My audiobook that I'm listening to at the moment is called The Yorkshire Pudding Club. It's about Millie Johnson. It's from Millie Johnson, and it's about 4 ladies who are in various different relationships. 3. 1, 2, I think it's 3. I'm like 3/4 of the way through it and I still don't know how many main characters there are. Brilliant. And one is career driven. So the last thing that she needed was to get pregnant. Oh, bugger. Hang on, I've just pulled out all the drills. Yeah, so one is career driven and the last thing she needed was to get pregnant. Now, in case you guys want to read it, I'm not going to give you too much of the plot. One person is, she'd never ever consider having children. And then the other one, that's all she wanted is a family. And obviously, as you can imagine, they get pregnant through various ways. And I'll leave those to you because they are quite interesting and you need to read the book. And it's just going through their lives of, you know, how they're dealing with pregnancy and things like that. And it's just a brilliant, brilliant story. And Millie Johnson has a very, very clever way of delivering a story, and she engulfs you. And I never ever, I've done it again. Oh, what is wrong with me? I never ever get bored. There's never ever parts in her book that I think, oh, come on, you're boring me now. I love all of her books. Every single one she's ever written, I come away going, oh my God, yeah, you know, 10 stars. That was amazing. Loved reading it. And I have that same feeling with Santa Montefiore as well. But I am about 3/4, no, I think I'm about 6 or 7/8 through it. I haven't really got much left, but I want to find out what happens. So I think what I'm going to do after I finish with you guys is I'm going to go and get something to eat, sort the heating out, make a cup of tea, and then sit down and do the rest of this with my audiobook. Okay, so that brings us to the end of that. I've got lots of rogue drills, but I don't really want to throw them away in case I run out, because I don't know. I do not know if I'm going to run out of any colours of this yet, and I guess you don't know until you actually physically run out. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to turn that off a minute. Sorry, I'm just trying to push the drills in from the edge because some of them look like they've popped out a bit. But anyway, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope the video has been informative and not too boring for you. But I am going to go and have something to eat, and I will see you in my next time-lapse videos. If you liked that video, I'm really sorry that was like 1 hour and 45 long, but if you really like this video, let me know and I will endeavour to do a few more non-time-lapse videos, more real-time whips and chats. But if not, then I understand. Fully, I understand. But just leave a comment in the comments box and I will pick it up, and then I can see sort of where you all sit with what you want to see. So have a great day, guys, and I will catch you later. Bye.